audio. Okay, do you think you can see it?
See what?
I've gone live.
There's no difference on my end.
Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, it probably just wants to start a minute before or something, but I click go live. The next option after that is end stream, which we're not doing.
Nope, too early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this.
Oh, there we go. There we are.
Okay, you were frozen for a second.
Was I?
Yeah, I don't know if it's on my end, but now you're back.
Oh, I hope I don't keep freezing. Connectivity is crazy. Yeah, I think I froze again, hey?
No, you're good.
Okay. I've just closed mine, just in case I'm slowing the internet down, having two screens open.
Okay.
Then we'll see. I'd love to see people hop on and then they hear me singing.
Well, you are a good singer. I've actually been playing some of your songs on Spotify
Really?
lately. Yeah.
Actually, I've started writing again, going a little more commercial, so to speak. But we'll see what comes out.
Nice.
We'll see. 3 minutes to go.
It says live. We are live for 2, but this is not. Why does it say it's live?
Because it is.
Okay, but then people will only come at 9, at 10
Yeah.
in your time because that's the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I cannot do this on my own, Valerie. You are the master of the domain.
And also, no matter what happens, even if they don't come in, we start at 4 and we just start our conversation.
Yeah. Sounds good.
It's actually a really fun topic for me because it's aligned to the self-starter book that I had put together, the self-starter guide. So
Which you
actually
should
helped me.
definitely promote. You should have a link or something for people to. Do you have a way to promote it here?
Yeah, I just realized after this whole process, I can refine it a little bit more. But it's practically done. Hold on. Do you hear the noise in the background?
I just heard some kids, but it's nothing crazy.
Yeah. 2 minutes left. Just gonna get up and ask for some.
Okay.
Oh, great, I'm back.
That was quick.
That's so funny. You see how it zooms? It like zoomed back out.
Yeah. No, I've never been so centered in the screen as right now. Because usually, like, I kind of sit back. My computer is a little further from me.
Yeah.
This is better.
That's great. Really is. 1 minute to go. You're hearing the fun times happening outside.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just gonna close my shades because there is a squirrel outside and I don't want my dogs to go ballistic because of it.
Okay. Okay, what's the time on your side? What's the time on your side?
10 a.m. sharp.
Sharp. Can you see anybody on? It's okay if they hear us.
Um, no, like I cannot see who's in unless they make a comment. I cannot see anything on my side.
Okay, well then let's start.
Yeah, we talk like it's our conversation. If people join, they join. If not, they watch the conversation later. That's fine.
I will have fun, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so let's get started. Um, if there are people who have jumped onto our series right now, welcome to the Imperfect brand. And today we are diving into our second topic. It's called From Why Not to Why Now. Now, before we go deeper into this topic, I just want to introduce myself and my co host. My name is Val Brown. You can call me your brand butterfly, and I love making beautiful brands. If you want to know more about me, just browse through my LinkedIn profile, send me a DM, and we can talk further. But I think my profile has everything you basically need to know. We are here with Lillian. She is a mindfulness coach. She's actually been coaching me for some time, and she is also a strategist, a brand strategist with a whole lot of experience. Uh, yeah, she's looking at me because I know she doesn't like it when I'm shower her with so many praises. But yeah, how are you, Lillian? Are you, I know it's about 10 a.m. where you are. Yeah, let's just do what we always do, right? How
yeah,
are you?
yeah. I'm doing well. It's morning in Miami. Just like starting the day here. Has been an active week, so all good on my side. How about you?
I'm doing great. Had a bit of a rough couple of days, but I think I'm recovering well. And that is the journey. It's part of doing what we need to do and actually showing up. So I'm I'm actually feeling rejuvenated just being here because I'm doing what I love. So yeah, I'm sure you'd be happy to hear that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah. So from why not to why now? I think it's such a strong statement, and I'm pretty sure that some of you will want me to elaborate. But before we go even deeper, please comment, share where you are. Uh, Yay, I see that Bab is here and Khaneji, you are also here. It's lovely to have you with us. And yeah, let's just have a fun time and enjoy the conversation. Now, often I get asked how I knew that now was the right time to start my business. My entire family actually packed up our bags. We didn't know if we were going to have a job, where we were going. We relocated countries, arrived, and said, okay, what do we do now? If you were there in the episode last week, a new statement for me is burn the ships and take the island. And that's literally what had happened. I just knew that it was time for change. But the trickiness of it all was that I still lacked a lot of confidence. Uh, and even with lacking that confidence, I made a decision to overcome it by actioning something or actively doing something. So, from why not to why now, uh, captures a journey of transformation, kind of similar to mine. It's about moving from a place of hesitation, doubt, and fear, maybe even a little bit of security, to a state of readiness, action, and confidence. So, this is what we're going to talk about with you today. And the why not mindset says statements like, or asks questions like, why not try something new? Why not take a risk? Why not write that book? Why not change or relocate or move countries? So you are triggered, or something triggers those kind of thoughts. However, there is a risk of it um, paralyzing you, although it is a crucial stage on your journey, right? Because it represents an initial spark of curiosity and even endless possibilities. But where it paralyzes us and where it may have affected me was when fear and doubt overshadow the potential of taking that step. So I could have had these thoughts, let me change countries, let me move. And then I sit back and I say, okay, but I have nothing tangible to work on. No one has given me that great deal or that sense of security to walk into that space. So the big question would then be, well, how do we embrace the now mindset? How do we take the present moment and give ourselves a sense of urgency or determination to run after that thing? How do we recognize the perfect time to act or innovate or even pursue some dream project you've had that's been lying dormant for a while? And so the shift really does involve overcoming these things and using your experiences as lessons rather than barriers. Lillian, I don't know if you have some thoughts on that. How do we take, the fear that you have and say, well, I'm going to use this to be a strength, because fear shows the flaws in our system, in our mindset, in our emotional and mental health, even. But you still need to make the decision. You still need to say, well, right now I'm going to do something.
I I resonate with everything that you have been saying right now. I can also resonate with the fact that I also moved countries. I came here exactly, like, actually in 13 days it's going to be 20 years that I am in the US, and I made this change. And what people don't realize sometimes is, yeah, you can make sudden moves and sudden change, but it doesn't mean that you need to have everything mapped out. Because what if what you are imagining doesn't take place, but something even better takes place? So I actually asked you this question once that I've seen somewhere else. Like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So you don't have to have the entire plan, but you have to make a conscious decision into moving forward, taking risks, knowing that you don't have to know every single step that is going to take you into the final destination. The final destination is there and might be a shortcut, or somebody that you're going to meet on the way that is going to make this happen in an easier way for you. So stressing out about all the little pieces and components of the journey is not going to
Hmm.
be good for you in the longer term. It's a
Hmm.
matter of faith, and I don't say that on the religious way, but a faith on yourself, and a faith that if you really put your mind into it, you have the capability of finding the best way to do it. So fear fear sometimes is the best way to, it's the only, how do I phrase this, if you are too comfortable, you are not going to take risks and you are not going to grow. So
Yeah.
sometimes when you have fear of something, that tells you that you are uncomfortable and you want to move. And it's a normal way, it's a normal thing. You are going to have some blocks, but if you are courageous enough to look at things on the light of, like, okay, why am I love journaling about these things. When there is like a very big fear of me to take a leap and create something new or go in a completely different direction, I ask myself, why am I afraid of this so much? And then
Hmm.
sometimes I see that, like, when you are failing at something, you are also learning about something on the process. And maybe once you fail and you learn a lesson, you are able to go back to your dream and build it even better because you learned from a little experience. So, on your journey into taking risks, nothing is lost. Everything, or it's a win or it's a learning experience. And if you look at things from that light, chances are you are going to succeed.
Hmm. And I think the great opportunity to be successful at overcoming your fear is to be vulnerable with it. So I'm actually going to put a challenge out to all of us to say, if you are on the feed right now, make a comment down below and actually voice what your fear is. Is it starting something new? Is it leaving your job? Is it becoming a serial entrepreneur and you know nothing about doing it? Putting it out there actually gives you the authenticity that you need to express that, you know what, I did it afraid. And you also highlighted something quite brilliant there, where there's that wonderful quote where people say, if the dream doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. And that's actually one of the things that have been my driving motivators. I've said, if I'm going to take this journey as an entrepreneur, then I'm going to go all out. And so sometimes staying in the perpetual state of planning and thinking about it and trying to get it perfect, I think we've highlighted this in the last session, really does stop us from executing those ideas. So you mentioned something quite, which is actually in my notes, like we need to take the leap of faith. We need to trust in our capabilities and understand that this is a journey, not a marathon. With all of its imperfections, it's what leads us to growth and success. And another thing that I'd like to put out there is, you might be in a perpetual state of comparison. Hello, social media. We compare ourselves subconsciously, whether we like to say it or not. We really do, uh, you know, look at other people, but we don't know what happened in the background. We don't know what they have gone through to get there, how long it took to get there. We often just see the end result. So give yourself a little break as you build your business, build your brand, build yourself up, and say, you know what, this thing of comparison needs to die, actually, right? Because living in the why now gives you the opportunity to turn that hesitation into momentum. And momentum, I'm not talking about, staying glued to your phone, or calling people the whole day to get those leads or get those customers. But it's really just saying, the momentum that suits my own life rhythm and the way that I want to build my business. That's the kind of momentum you build. So,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, let's talk about the psychology behind common entrepreneurial fears. I can actually name a couple of mine. Thank you, Hane. Love to know that it's refreshing to hear this. And yes, fear is about taking risks that stand in our way. We are halfway through the year already. And if we still have fear crippling us or holding us back, we need to tackle it and say, what is that thing that is holding me back? And how can I practically walk out of that space? So, for example, mine is still definitely comparison, just at a different level. Initially, in the world of work, I would have compared myself to my peers, and now I'm actually comparing myself against people who are in a similar industry, because I'm trying to break ground and it's a very competitive market. I'm looking at people and saying, well, I could never do that. But the opportunity here is that I can use that to benchmark against their successful model. And I'm like, whoa, okay, I can build my confidence because I know that it works and I know that I can also do it. Therein lies the opportunity to overcome my fear, because I've given myself something practical. So visualizing what it is I need to do and being mindful of my own perception or my own interaction with the things that I consume is very important. Shake off the things that are hurting your confidence and build yourself up with things that are boosting your confidence. We highlighted this last week as well, but it cannot be overemphasized. Set realistic goals. On top of that, I would say set those goals and put a date on it. I have met so many people who say, well, I started my New Year's resolution. They have all of these wonderful, great ideas, but they don't put a date on it. How do you know that you are closer to the goal if you don't even have the specifics? So the way that you can overcome the fear or the lack of confidence is by actually putting a date on it, and you work towards that goal. I
I
don't know.
agree with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And going back to the comparison thing, like on socials and everything, we have to remember that even when we are comparing things to people in our industry that we feel they are only 1 or 2 steps ahead, we get to remember that they are, most of them are only highlighting the successes. We don't know what's going on exactly on the background and
Mm,
how many times they have been failing, the problems that they're having, the doubts that they're having in their head. They are not being 100% transparent. Most people are not. So when we make our own resolutions and we have our dates, I agree with you 100%. I write things down, I put a date on them as well. Add a little bit of grace, because the fact that you didn't complete things by December 31st doesn't mean that you can do an extra push and get them done by the end of February. So
mm.
everybody is on their own journey, everybody has their own story. And if you are expecting everything to go smooth, I can guarantee you, you are not going to grow, because we also have to go through certain challenges in order to reinvent ourselves and to become better. I'm not saying that everything needs to be hard, but we get to be creative and find a way to learn a lesson and improve ourselves upon challenges as well.
Yeah, and you won't know what's inside of you until it's tested. I
Yeah.
have never seen anybody get their degree or their qualification without going through the exam. It's impossible, right? You have a desire to achieve a certain goal. It needs to be put out there in its raw state and it needs to be tested. And it will also test you, it will test your resilience, it will test your ability to pivot or overcome that thing and progress and move upwards and onwards, right? And it will also be such a wonderful opportunity to learn from your mistakes. It cannot be overemphasized again, and it's not overused. There's a reason why people say that, because they go through that journey, they make a lot of messes. I actually realized the other day that I have tried to build a business 5 times now. I actually didn't know, right? I didn't realize that I had done that previously, and then I just stopped midway. What is the thing that made me stop? Because the ideas were valid. The opportunity is still there to utilize that space and have that become part of my multiple streams of income. But they lay dormant because I'm saying, well, maybe later, maybe when I'm ready to do it. And there's always something new that comes up that puts that thing in the back burner. I would say go and pull out those grand ideas and see how you can find other strengths around you and surround yourself with people that can really take a zoom into those ideas and say, well, actually, you might be overthinking this. Why can't you do it now? There are so many ways to do this. Let's find the tools and let's get started. I just want to read here a fear that Hane has mentioned. My fear is always, what if I get it wrong? What if I get it so wrong that it does more harm than good to my brand? When I share a personal belief about issues that may be somewhat sensitive to people, corporate culture, mental health, sometimes I can be doubting my own craft simply because it doesn't align 100% with the many rules out there. Uh, I have so many things to say about this statement, but I'm going to pass it on to you first, Lillian, and then I will jump in. What do you think?
Um, my husband says a thing that I agree 100% every time he says, common sense is not that common. So, as
Yes.
entrepreneurs, we get to be sensible and figure it out what can, like, taking risks doesn't necessarily mean burn bridges. So, I don't know about you. I have my beliefs. I have my political beliefs, religious beliefs, and other things that I choose not to bring into my brand, because sometimes I do, but like very lightly, because you don't want to become so narrowed down into certain things that might become problematic for your brand. So it's a matter of thinking through and figure it out, what really serves my brand, why should I bring this? Is this like this belief, this statement, is this related to my brand, and is this going to enrich my audience, and is this going to be adding to the overall belief, and no, the overall way that I show up online and offline and all that. So I would start with that. Think through if it's worthy, because if it's just one thing that happened, and then you're like, I need to make a statement about this. Do you really? Like, maybe you don't. Maybe it's not your stick to hold. Maybe this is something that you can you can like a post, you can comment and be empathetic through things, but you don't have to make a huge statement that it's gonna potentially harm your company, and it really doesn't have anything to do with what you do. These are my thoughts.
Yeah, I love that you said that, because if we don't define the audience, if we don't define your ideal customer, or simply put, just the people you want to surround yourself with as a brand, then those kind of things are going to be challenged consistently, because there's so many opinions out there, so many thoughts out there. But what makes your thinking unique? I also think that sometimes it's the way we structure our thinking. Finding a way to communicate. I actually heard this the other day, that we not only have a visual brand, but we also have a verbal brand. The way that
Absolutely.
we speak and communicate to people can be packaged differently, or in such a way that it's non intrusive or offensive, but it still gets that message across. So, definitely knowing if the people you're trying to relay your message to are the right fit for your brand, and if they're not the right fit, you will know immediately, and you can walk away from that. It's okay to walk away from certain opportunities if they don't align with your own brand. So, together with being able to measure if that thing that you're trying to communicate is even something that is mature enough or ready for right now. Maybe it just needs a little more work in the way that you communicate it, and it's something that you can bring up later. If you are still building your brand, at grassroots, or it's still, at milk stage or baby stage, then keeping those opinions in the back burner until you can build a strong enough reputation. Celebrities do this a lot. They have these passion projects and these things that they love, but they don't voice it or articulate it until they've built a brand strong enough that it doesn't matter how many people they win or lose. They're almost at a stage where they've said, I've built my reputation well enough that if I'm going to attract certain people, they're always going to be the right people. And there is a riskiness to that. Please hear what I'm saying. There is a riskiness to that, in that we don't treat people with an I don't care attitude, but rather we say, who are the best people or the right fit people for the brand that I'm trying to build? Will they be okay with my vulnerability and my openness? Is there a way that I can communicate better? And I think when you find that sweet spot, you'll be able to overcome the fear of expressing yourself, because you found a way to share it that is easier to receive, and you've also educated the people around you well enough that when they hear you, they understand your brand already, so they understand your perspective and where you're coming from and why you said what you said. So I really hope that's helpful, and I'm so thankful that you shared your question and your comment, because this is what the Imperfect Brand series is all about, talking about our weaknesses, our fears, and saying, you know what, we can make that imperfection work for us.
Yes, and I love that you mentioned, Valerie, that when you, sorry, I lost my train of thought here. Um, oh my God, I completely forgot what I'm gonna say. You can carry on, and when I remember, I'll tell you. Sorry.
No, no problem. I think there's also an opportunity for us to continue on the feed and share some comments in our thinking to expand on, what we've shared today and talked about today. Uh,
I just remembered what I was about to say.
Go for it. Go for it.
When you said that when you find the right people, you can express yourself freely with them. It's so important to phrase this, because when you are among people that are receptive to your message, you are able to elaborate better, and you are able to improve the way you communicate and bring more thoughts that might help them. When your audience is too closed up, it means that it's not your audience at all, because they are not receptive to your message. So this is a great way to really see if you are reaching out the right people. If they are not receptive, if they are not getting back to you and saying, hey, this really resonates with me, maybe you are not, it doesn't mean that you have to change your message necessarily. It means that you are talking to the right group, to the wrong group, and you might be exploring finding the people that are right for you, not the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah, so I hope this was fun for you as much as it was for us. It is a 30-minute time slot, but there are two more sessions coming up, and the last one will be about building a brand community. And that conversation is going to be an hour long. So please be there for the conversation and the interaction. I'm leaving you with a quote. It says, "If not now, when? If not you, then who?" It is a famous quote. And I think it really is in alignment with why not, why now? If it's not you, then who's going to do it? Because there's only one you, which is why branding is such a powerful tool. And only you can communicate the message that you want to share with the world. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again next week, Wednesday, the same time. Bye bye.